Well, that was a tough loss. That was a tough loss. You know, that thing was a roller coaster to say the least. I mean, I was obviously really confident that I thought we were going to win. Matter of fact, I thought we were going to blow them out the water, and clearly that is not what happened. At one point, it looked like that was about to happen. It looked like the floodgates in that third quarter were starting to open up when we had a 20-14 lead. And the NFL graphics, by the way, were saying the Cowboys have never lost when having a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, there's nothing really for me to say. I mean, if y'all were expecting like a meltdown, how did we lose this game, bro? Like, we should have freaking blown these guys out. I'm sorry, but you're not getting it from me. I'm sorry. You're not. Because all the things that I was talking about before, all the flaws that I was talking about are still there. We don't have we can't stop the run. This is the second game in a row that we've given up 200 yards rushing. And you just can't win games that way, giving up 200 yards. We were fortunate last time that our offense was on fire in that game, against Chicago, scoring 4 touchdowns in 4 possessions. Scoring a touchdown each of our first 4 possessions. Like, we were fortunate to have that. But had it not been for that, the Bears would have beaten us. But this game right here just shows everything that I was literally talking about. In that one video that I was talking about, like the Joneses and whatever. They didn't do anything to try to shore up the defense when they knew we needed help as far as stopping the run. And you want to know something? What I'm noticing is that we can't stop the run around the edges. It's like, don't get me wrong, we're not that much better, inside, but we are a little bit better at stopping the run up the middle inside. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I always thought it was the D-line, D tackles and whatever that was our problem, why we can't stop the run. But nah, man, it's the linebackers and DBs that are the problem. When the running backs get around the edges, what happens? We can't get any contain. Like, bro, all I'm seeing is green grass, in front of the running back every time that they're able to, get outside. But on a few occasions, I'm not gonna lie, they do run into a brick wall when it comes to running against our D line. But that's the thing. That's the thing though, bro. We have no outside contain, so teams are going to continue to be able to run the ball effectively on us outside, and we somewhat look okay when stopping the run inside. Like, our D line is actually not that bad. And to be quite honest with you, at times D Law was really, like single handedly, stopping the run at times. When the Packers weren't gashing us for like 10 plus yards every time they ran the ball, and whatever. Like, every time that every time that a team, gets those big runs on us, it's always away from D-Law. It's always away from D-Law. Anytime we run at D-Law, they ain't getting diddly squat. They are not getting diddly squat anytime they run to D-Law's area. Nonetheless, I do want to point out, a couple positives. So, yeah, CeeDee Lamb is clearly a number one. All right. And I think this game actually, in my opinion, will actually make the Joneses actually want to, spend some money finally, because, they were talking about, making talks with Odell Beckham, like, after the game, and what, making talks with Odell Beckham as far as, like, signing him after the game. And while you guys might think, bro, if you saw, if Odell Beckham, obviously, he saw this game, obviously. So, if he watched this game, don't you think he would probably want to go to somebody else? Well, last time I checked, he wanted to go to the Bills. He wanted to go to the Bills, and he wanted to go to the Cowboys. And there was one other team, I forget who it was. But yeah, and clearly Buffalo apparently can't hold it down. They have struggled the past couple of weeks. And, so as far as I'm concerned, all of the teams really that are auctioning out for him, have been struggling as of late. So, and to be quite honest with you, like, if Odell saw this game, the bright side of this is if Odell did see this game, he would be thinking, bro, all these guys really need is, like, they need somebody who can, like, really, like, attack vertically. They can't attack vertically. And I can bring that to the table for this team. And they are still a good football team. I know, obviously I know we are still a good football team. Just, I don't know how to explain what happened today, But, yeah, like, we need somebody who can attack vertically. We need a guy who can, like, be that big play, threat that can attack vertically down the field. And that's what Odell Beckham brings to the table. Obviously, he won't be ready right away. It's going to take him a little bit of time, maybe a couple of weeks or so. But, like, if anything, this game should be, if anything, should be motivating, the Joneses to, go out and get OBJ. Because if you saw that game, if you watch that game and think that this offense is ready to play playoff football, then you're full of it. Because outside of CeeDee Lamb, who had a good game, 11 catches, 149 yards, and a touchdown, outside of that, no, 2 touchdowns. Outside of him, nobody really did anything. You have to understand, Dak had 243 yards passing in this game. And 149 of those 243 yards were to CeeDee Lamb. Because You saw him force feed him the ball a lot in this game because at this point it's all he had. You know, Michael Gallup is clearly still not up to speed. You know, I mean, he's obviously still not the galloping ghost right now. Like, bro, we need Odell Beckham. Like, what I saw out there in this game, yeah, offense scored 28 points, but my God, we need Odell Beckham. We need Odell Beckham. And I expect Jerry and Stephen Jones to be making the calls and having Odell Beckham on speed dial or something, you know, within 24 hours. All right? That's what I'm expecting. Another thing. We got to talk about that 4th and 4 play, man. That 4th and 4. Why did you go for it? That's what I want to know. Why did you go for it? It was well within Brett Maher's range. It was well within Brett Maher's range. Why did you go for it? I mean, like, I'm just thinking to myself, what? I'm just thinking like, okay, all right, let's just calm down, you know, let's be cool, you know, like we get this first down, then, you know, we don't have to worry about anything. And then, as soon as I saw the penetration coming up the middle on Dak Prescott, and he had to step up, and I'm thinking, oh no. And then Dak, a defender gets a hold of him, and I'm like, oh no. But then he got the ball out of his hand, and I see Pollard, I'm like, oh wait. You know, like, maybe this might have a shot. But then the ball was too high for him, and it was incomplete, turnover on downs. And, yeah, man, this is now the second time since last year that in overtime we won the coin toss and we couldn't capitalize. I mean, it is what it is, man. And we had that big run, man, that really got us going and really had us in, you know, business. And then a holding penalty. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't see very much, but he had those hands outside. He had those hands outside of the jersey, and that's normally for offensive linemen, that's a no-no. So I couldn't really argue with that, you know. But it was the 3rd and 4 play. I was just talking about the 4th and 4. But let's rewind, let's go back, you know, like literally a play before that 4th down and 4 play. Let's go back before that. If you saw on the play, on that 3rd down and 4, Dak threw a slant over the middle for CeeDee Lamb, and he threw a slant over the middle for CeeDee Lamb, and it was incomplete. But when you look at the replay, you can see that Jair Alexander clearly made contact with Lamb before the ball even got there. And CeeDee's getting up, looking for a flag and whatever. And I'm not going to lie, it didn't look about like very much from where I saw it, you know, in real time. But when you look at the replay and you look back and you focus more on it, you'll see that Jair Alexander, like, without a doubt, clearly made contact with Lamb before the ball even got there. And so that's why we got into that 4th and 4 situation in the first place. But I've said this before, man. Take care of your business. Take care of your business so you don't have to let the game come down to the referees. I'll be quite honest with you, we don't do too well in tight games, bro. In tight games, we're not very good. When games are tight and when games are, tightly contested ball games and it's anybody's game, we do not do well in those kind of games because you're putting yourself in a situation where now you're putting the game in the hands of the referees. And that's the problem. We don't take care of our business and just play like world beaters out there. And so when we let a team like the Packers hang around, then you're putting the game in the hands of the referees where they can make a critical decision that could screw you over or a decision that could go the completely 180. And normally we always get the shorter end of the stick, the other option. So, it is what it is, man. I'm not gonna trip on it, bro. But if the Philadelphia Eagles, so far today, I've done somewhat decent, on my predictions right now, I believe, other than the obvious one that I got wrong, the Cowboys beating the Packers. Other than that, not very many I can really, I really know that I didn't get right. But, yeah, man, so if Philadelphia wins tomorrow, I got the Commanders winning. And if the Eagles do lose tomorrow, well, then nobody gets to be happy. Everybody can be down a little bit, because I got Rexall Jones or It's Dragon Squad, BITCH on YouTube and whatever that I'm gonna have to deal with. So as long as the Eagles do lose tomorrow to drop their first game of the year, to drop to 8-1, then everybody can be upset and all is kind of right with the world. Obviously, I would like for us to be in a situation where we're 7-2 and they lose tomorrow, obviously, but unfortunately, that's just not going to be the case. But it is what it is. Our owner's still kicking. Always trying to look for some national media attention, whatever way you could possibly get it. That's what he cares more about than winning. And whatever, it's whatever. I'm not going to even trip, because normally, especially in my past YouTube channel, I always kind of overreacted a little bit on, when I would, make my little, reviews, reviews over the Cowboys game when we would lose, and stuff. And I always kind of would overreact a little bit on some of those, sometimes having some short tirades or meltdowns, but I'm not going to do that. But, it is what it is. We're still 6-3, we have not that much to worry about other than our run defense, and whether or not Odell Beckham's going to come to the Cowboys. But other than that, we're fine. We got Minnesota coming up, and to be quite honest with you, even I know they're 8-1, but even I feel like they're not as good as they're not as good as they may look. They just beat Buffalo today, and yes, that is a quality win. But you almost kind of have to think they got so fortunate off of Josh Allen fumbling, the quarterback sneak, and that got them the touchdown and stuff and whatever, and that basically gave them life, and they wound up winning the game in overtime. They still had to take care of their business at the same time, but still, they got so fortunate, bro. So yeah, again, they may be 8-1. But even I'm not really that much sold on the Vikings right now. They're 8-1, so they're winning. But yeah, man, I mean, I feel like they're not as good as we might be, you know, advertising them to be. So next week, I mean, as long as we don't have a repeat of 2019, against the Vikings, bro, where Dalvin Cook just went off against our defense, bro, then I'm fine. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna trip. So from what I'm seeing, obviously, I feel like the offense has improved. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the offense has improved. I'll be quite honest with you. Like, after that Lions game, Dak coming back, I feel like the offense is starting to be here, and the defense is starting to be here. I feel like the offense is starting to get better, and the defense is starting to get worse. Like, they're not what we thought they were. I don't know, bro. Like, they just had a bad game all around today. We made Christian Watson look like the second coming of Devontae Adams, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers has his new Devontae Adams or something. Like, bro, that didn't make any sense in the world at all, bro. I feel like this defense is starting to, crack. Like, that's just what I feel. The offense is starting to go here, and the defense is starting to go here. But nonetheless, it is what it is. I mean, we're obviously like not in the worst position possible, but today, we'll look at this as a trap game. We played down to our competition, and we just didn't feel right. Like, we didn't play like we should have played today. Offense did have a little bit of offensive production, obviously, but the turnovers were clearly a big issue. The defense at times showed some high moments, but at the same time, they still can't stop the run for nothing. They can't stop the run for crap, bro. So, yeah, and all that was, put in for this game. But, it is what it is. We lost the game, and we got to get ready for Minnesota. So we can't, we can't just keep our mind on this game. I know it was disappointing. Like, this was a game that, almost everybody had us winning, obviously, and we should have won, but we just didn't get it done, And Mark Holmes said that this game reminded him of the old Cowboys with Jason Garrett playing down to their competition, losing to teams that they shouldn't be losing to. And I will be honest with you, Mark. You are right. This felt like that kind of game. But, as long as we can just, recover, I get it. It was disappointing. That was demoralizing. But, we got to move forward. We can't just keep this game in our heads, bro. We just can't. So, we got to move forward, move on to Minnesota. I'll talk about that game and, whatever. And, I don't know. I got no words, So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, now. So, subscribe, that has been my time, and this is NFL Thoughts, out.